Hello, everyone. And what I wanted to do was to go through three different goals scored by different teams. We'll do one with Messi from Barcelona because he's the best that's ever played this game. We'll do one from the U.S. women's team, and we will do one from an international game. Hopefully, it will help bring to light why we're doing some of the things we're doing in training, why there are certain techniques we repeat again and again and again. I want you to watch this player, and we'll watch the goal in full, and then we'll go back and break some stuff down. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, let's bring this thing back. Okay, so the first thing I want you to take a look at is this is a player, at this time, he was playing up top for Barcelona, playing in the striker position. He had spent the majority of his career out on the outside, but in this particular game, he was playing as an out and out number nine. Right? Everybody on the team should defend when we're not in possession of the ball. And he does a great job of this. Now, notice, young players, he does not sprint around chasing the ball. What he's doing is he's stays in motion so that he can move quickly when the moment arrives, and he's looking for a bad touch. Now let's again right here. We're watching this player right here, and let's watch him zone in here when there's a bad touch. Okay, right here from this player. There, that's the one. That's the one. That when he has that bad touch and it's too far away from him, Messi pounces on that like a puma on a gazelle. And what I really like here is Messi is a lot smaller than this bigger player that he's playing against right here, but he gets stuck in. And what stuck in means is that you position your body in between the opposing player and the ball. And hopefully you get your hips lower than his hips or her hips, because that will make you stronger than the opposing player by getting your center of gravity lower than theirs. And Messi just does a phenomenal job of this. So take a look at this part. Just shoves him off the ball. Fantastic. Now, what I really like right after that, and we just saw it, is that he's really aggressive, really strong, using his body, using his physicality, because he's very strong. Even though he's slight and he's small, he is a strong man. But he immediately switches into a finesse mode, right? He dances around this next player. He's not overly aggressive. He's not just kicking it past the player and running. He takes small touches at speed and then uses a simple move, the outside of his left foot, and he's left-footed, so he tends to go to his left. He uses the outside of his left foot to skip around the player, and then he's still moving forward with a lot of pace. And let's just watch that part one more time. So this is when he's just stolen the ball, and now he's going to take on the next player. Great transition, skips around him, moving at full speed. Now he goes inside, outside. And how does he finish it? He finishes it low and to the far post. Just an excellent individual effort. And I think this is a great way to start this. The next goal we're going to look at is very much a team goal. This one is just an excellent individual effort from, in my humble opinion, the best to ever play this game. And then last thought on this goal, I just want you to take notice of how he's not using a lot of complicated moves here. It's all very simple. It's outside of the foot, cutting past that defender. Then when he takes on the second defender, you're going to see it here, he goes inside with the inside of his foot, just cuts across the defender, and then back with the outside of his foot again. So just watch it one more time and think about the simplicity of the moves. But all he's doing is he's doing it at a very high level of speed with a high level of precision. And that's another reason that we repeat these moves over and over and over and over again. So it just becomes instinct. So let's take a look here. There's the outside of the foot, still moving at pace, inside, outside, and then he puts that thing across low and far. Just a fantastic goal. All right, our next goal comes courtesy of the United States women's national team. This was in the World Cup against France. This was the second goal that they scored. Phenomenal on so many levels. Let's watch the goal first, and then we'll take a look at individual players. Love this pass. Oh, fantastic cross. Great finish. Phenomenal goal. Phenomenal goal. All right, let's bring that back. All right, so in this first version of it, we're going to take a look at Alex Morgan right here, number 13. And what I like about this is that France's back three defenders here, they're very well positioned to deal with Morgan. It's the pass that she hits that unlocks the defense. So let's take a look. Again, we're going to follow number 13 right here. I mean, that is a thing of beauty. And if we take this back just a smidge here, I mean, you can see with this one pass, she's beating 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 players and putting the goalie in a real bad spot with this one pass. And this is one of the things that as you watch more and more football, you get excited right at this moment because it's often the pass before the pass that leads to the goal, or it might even be the pass before the pass before the pass that leads to the assist that leads to the goal. But it's the one that unlocks the defense. From here, the United States is going to have a great attacking opportunity. What they do with it, they'll have a few different options, but it's this pass which is really where that's where the dance is in soccer. It's that moment of magic that unlocks the other team against a very well-organized defense that seasoned soccer people get really excited about. Okay, let's bring it back. We're going to look at one more thing with Morgan here, right? So notice she comes up and she waits. This is Tobin Heath right here. She's going to wait for her to make the run, and then she hits this pass, not at her feet, but into space because Heath is sprinting into a space. But she gives Heath a chance to get a full head of steam. Morgan does not freak out and hit it too soon, right? She takes her time, and then she hits the ball at the right pace. It's not too hard to where Heath has to, the ball's going to run out of bounds, or Heath is not able to get to it before someone else, but it's not so soft that these defenders can get a hold of it before Heath can sprint onto it, right? She hits the Goldilocks ball. So let's just watch that pass one more time. It's perfect. Okay, now after that, Morgan is basically out of the play. And now we're going to turn our attention to Tobin Heath right here. Okay, so let's bring it back and look at her run. Okay, so Morgan has the ball. Heath is the deeper player. You can just see by her body mechanics right there. She knows exactly where she wants to go, what she wants to happen. At this point, she is, now we don't have the full audio, but I am imagining she is screaming for this ball to be played into this space. Because what the United States women's team is so good at is that they have players on the outside that can stretch the opposition vertically. So that's up the field towards the goal vertically. And then they space themselves. If we take a look at that, if we look at from Morgan to Heath to this center attacking midfielder, all the way up here to Rapinoe, they stay spread out across the field, which stretches the defense horizontally. And what does that do when you stretch a team vertically and horizontally? Well, it creates big pockets of space. Here, 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 and all this space in behind. That's where they want to get at him. So let's watch Heath now and watch her sprinting run into that space. But you got to scream for that ball so that it gets hit before you run off sides. Great. Now we just saw Heath look up. She took her touch. She looked up to see where her teammates were. Now she's got a big choice right here, right? She knows she wants to cross the ball. And maybe first for our young players out there, let's start with this. A lot of the time when we get played in behind the defense, different players get very excited in this moment and they put their head and eyes down towards the ball and they are looking to score. Heath does the pro move, right? The pro thing. She looks up and picks out her teammates In an instant, she makes sense of her options. But she knows, because she's a seasoned, experienced player, that she's at a very tight angle right here. This is actually a low percentage shot. Because of the angle that she's at, the keeper is coming out. The keeper is going to be able to cover most of that angle. So she's going to elect to cross the ball, and she could cross it into a few different places, right? She has the option to shoot. We covered that. She could cross the ball with a square ball right across the face of goal. Sometimes that is the right move. In this case, though, what we're going to see is that I believe if she were to hit this square ball in here, this goalie would come and cut that out. This goalie was quick off her line and would be able to cover that. It's also possible this defender could beat this player to that ball, and then this wonderful opportunity to score, this chance, this big chance. We've been talking a lot at practice lately about creating chances. This chance would be lost in that case. So what does she do? She does the Guardiola thing, to cross the ball back away from the goal. And he teaches these runners to wait until that ball's there, to sprint at it and then go get it. Why? Because when we hit this ball back, let's actually take a look at the pass Tobin Heath hits. Oh, I mean, just a thing of beauty. Hits it back. It's now going away from the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper, it's very difficult for the goalkeeper to get that ball. This one was impossible for the goalkeeper to get to it because it's moving away from her. If this player is doing their job, it should leave them in a perfect position where they didn't sprint prematurely to here. They can now move forward. They're working with their body mechanics and put this ball away, as she does. But I mean, for me, and hats off to Rapinoe for making this happen. But Heath's play here is really the catalyst that makes this goal happen. Okay, now let's take it back once more. Okay, so here's Morgan with the initial pass into space for Heath, right? It's this attacking midfielder right here. Morgan is the striker, usually playing up top, pushing on the last defender, being that number 9, right? But she's come out here to get a hold of the ball. And this is probably by design to bring Morgan into different pockets of space so she can get a hold of the ball and give their defense different looks. And Morgan's passing game is extremely underrated. And as we can see here, she's an excellent passer of the ball and facilitator for her teammates. She gets a lot of plaudits for the goals she scores, but there should be more attention, in my opinion, paid to her passing ability. Now, what I really like here, though, is that these players are so in concert, right? This attacking midfielder sees that Morgan is out here, sees where this ball is going, anticipates what's going to happen, and she sprints forward into that striker position. So now we're going to watch this player right here, an attacking midfielder transitioning into the striker position. Here she goes, sprint, sprint, sprint. And that dummy on the ball, because I bet Rapinoe is screaming and communicating with her where she's at. I'm coming in behind, my ball, let it run. So she does the really smart thing, moves past it, and that's what really ties up this defender and this goalkeeper, who could have made a move to recover and defend this play, but that dummy run absolutely took them out of it. Okay, last one. I promise we're almost done with this play. I'm going to take a look at Rapinoe here, right? She's just this blur up here. I want you to watch Rapinoe for the entire play now and watch how patient she is. She stays wide. She stays wide because, again, that spreads out the defense. It puts real pressure on this player. One, Rapinoe is behind her. So as this player tries to look at the ball, she has to turn all the way over here to look at Rapinoe, which means now she's lost the ball. So she has to make a very difficult choice. She's going to lose the attacker or lose the ball. And as a defender, I want to have my eye on both whenever possible. So Rapinoe's coming in behind her, very smart. Another reason to stay wide, and she's keeping the field stretched, which again is going to create space behind the defender. And in here, she can't. If she tucks in too far, it's leaving Rapinoe too much room. If she tucks in too close this way towards the attacker she's trying to defend, it leaves too much space here. So just Rapinoe's action of staying wide, and it really helps that all of her teammates here are staying balanced across the field. it puts this defender in a very difficult position, making very difficult choices. And that's what we want to do to our opponents. Okay, so again, let's watch Rapinoe for the duration of this clip. Here she goes, staying up high, patient, 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 waiting till she sees it. Then she cracks that thing home. Notice she used the inside of her foot. I'm a big fan of finishing with the inside of the foot when we are inside the 6-yard box, or we're finishing a ball that already has some pace on it, whether that be a cross or a hard pass. Oftentimes, all we need to do is redirect the ball towards the goal. And the last thing we're going to look at is just Rapinoe finishing that ball one more time with the inside of her foot. You have more control when you use the inside of your foot, and often more power when you use your instep to strike the ball. So it follows as a general rule of thumb. And obviously there's a lot of factors and it depends on the situation, but as a general rule of thumb, the further you are from the goal, the more likely you need to use your laces to put some power behind the ball. She's close, the goalie's out of position. All she's got to do is put this thing on the frame, and she does the smart pro thing. She uses the inside of her foot. There we go. Lovely goal. Lovely goal. Just all around fantastic. All right, this last goal comes courtesy of Mahrez. He is a player from Manchester City in the English Premier League, but this was in the African Cup of Nations where he's playing with his national team of Algeria. Whoa. The last point I want to make is about playing with freedom. This is a creative game. Watch what this player does with this long ball. Lovely, lovely. All right, let's just bring that back again for this long ball touch. Right, that's not planned. That just happens. And then it's like he's out in the schoolyard, right? He's just playing. He's just on the playground, letting things happen, dancing around defenders, puts it in the back of the net. Again, low, far post. Low, far post. Low, far post attackers. All right, we're going to watch it one last time. And, you know, it's not actually on this version of the clip. I couldn't find the one where they show him right afterwards, but they zoom in on his face. He has this huge smile, and he kind of shakes his head like, yeah, how did that happen? Have you ever wondered why coaches encourage you to juggle? This clip is why. Because when you juggle thousands and thousands of times, or repeat skills thousands and thousands of times, and train the fundamentals again and again and again, it enables you to do impulsive, creative things under pressure without thinking about them.